Hello, welcome to another video. Today we're at the Northumberland town of Sea Houses and we're off on a boat trip later on today out to Farne, one of my favourite places for seabirds. Just a quick note on the boat trips: they do a sail around the islands and then some of the trips you land on Farne and you get an hour on there. So today we expect puffins, guillemots, kittiwakes, razorbills, shags, some of the larger gulls. We might get ring plover as well, they nest on the island. Arctic terns, common terns, sandwich terns. Quick note on the terns: once the terns arrive this time of year and once they start breeding, get a hat, because the terns are feisty and they do see you off. You'll see when we get on the island, but it's not uncommon to get a peck on the head. It's called the Northumberland kiss. Now, when you first get to Sea Houses, if you haven't already booked online, you need to book a boat. So come over to one of the huts on the foot of the pier, book your boat, then head to the National Trust on the left hand side and get your landing pass, because without that you can't land on the islands. Tip number one: you see behind me the cubicle for the National Trust. Now just on the left hand side you can see this wall, and beyond the wall, as the tide goes out, forms a lot of small rock pools, and you often get gulls bathing in there. So your wildlife photography can start here before you even get on the boat. Let's have a closer look. Right, so I've brought you up to show you a little bit wider view and one or two pointers to look out for. See the huts in the distance, where you can book your boats, and also a National Trust, get your landing pass. There is also a nice little kiosk there to get a coffee or some food. Now when the tide's in, you can't see very well from this angle, but there is actually a boat that's just, I think it's just going to be pulling away now, one of the early trips. So that's right in the middle, just off the kiosk. It's high tide, that's where you'll get on your boat. At low tide, just bring you round, and when you follow along to the pier, and you just watch as we go along, you see the pier end, there we go. There are some steps just the left hand side of the little lighthouse, and that's where you would get on and off the boat at low tide. Now I don't know if you can see this, but just to the right of where that white van is, there is an eider duck with several ducklings, and this time of year that's one of the things to watch out for. Once watched these when I was waiting to get on a boat, and they were right below me feet, and you could watch the ducklings diving in the shallow water. Didn't get the best photograph, but something different. I'll put that up for you now. Now I brought you around, we're just heading south, just along the edge here of Sea Houses, because I want to show you, if you arrive in plenty of time, I want to show you a nice little spot for photographing fulmar. You do get fulmar out on the islands, however this is a good spot to get some fulmar in-flight shots. So just follow the coastal path past the caravan site. Now when you get round to the end of the caravan site, you'll see in the distance, let's see if I can zoom in, the cliffs. You can see the cliff edges there, and that's where you get nesting fulmar. And just along this next section of path, it leads to a gate where you enter the end of the golf course. Just to that gate's where we're heading. When you reach the end, as you can see here, it's a gate. Beware of golf balls. Now then, just below me, don't know whether you can hear, but we have got a kittiwake colony. Let's see if I can zoom in. Birds are quite active. Kittiwakes are one of my favourite seabirds. Rather dainty gull, but very pure white, and they're always feisty and raucous, and there's always something going on. Shot another video about these, so by all means please have a look at that one. I'll leave a link in the description below. There are no fulmar here at the minute that I can see. However, if you hit this right and the conditions are right, because there's a westerly wind blowing, I don't know whether you can see that on the sea, or I don't even know if you can hear it on the audio, but that means that any fulmar that, or kittiwakes for that matter, that do come in, they'll be flying into the wind, so you get some good face-on shots. Now, because there's none here at the moment, here's some shots I got when I did hit it right. I'll put them up for you now. This is one of the things with sea houses. You get the starlings. Now they're quite tame, and they're used to feeding from people's hands, so that's another thing to look out for. I'm just sat on the wall at the end of the pier, just having a coffee, and I've been joined by a few friends. So all around the island, especially in this central part, you've got a lot of nesting puffins. The boardwalk around it is roped off. Stick to the boardwalk. It's not that wide, so you do have to pass a lot of people. There's a gull there chasing a puffin. It just wants the fish that the puffin had in its beak. And that's one of the things with this island in a Farne to watch out for, because you can get some good shots of the gulls waiting for the puffins in and trying to steal the food. I'm on the southwest corner now, and on this corner got a lot of nesting kittiwakes which you can get really close to. You can probably hear them as well, having a squabble down there. Let's see if we can watch this. Nesting territories at a premium. Quite a few. I see some guillemots and razorbills down the side here. Sat on a tune there. These Farne Islands only leucistic guillemot that I'm aware of. These are your kittiwakes. There's a squabble going on here with this one. Birds trying desperately to land, but real estate's at a premium. And you watch the bird and it'll just ride the breeze. These are masters of riding the breeze. But you often find behaviour like this which makes for great photography. You often find with guillemots, there's a lot of mutual training goes on, reaffirming the pair bond. This can make some very nice photography, and it's where the birds enjoy it. I got a lovely shot of this one, and I'll put this up for you now. Who says birds don't have emotions or enjoy